This is a quick video on how to do the neon dance outline. And today I'm going to be using my MacBook. So sorry, things are going to look a little bit different than the normal computer I use, which is a Windows computer. Just this computer has a microphone attached to it. My desktop does not. So I am stuck using this one. But this video is going to be for you to follow along the steps so you can watch it as slowly as you'd like, or go back and rewatch sections if you think you mess up. And so we're going to try to make this video and see how it goes today. Okay, so I'm going to use the footage that we used in class the other day just to build it again. When you do this video, you can use, whatever footage you have, probably of yourself dancing. If you want to come back and do it with the same footage that I'm using as another way of practicing, that's fine too. Then you can emulate the steps and hopefully get similar results. Okay, so I've gone to Google Drive and I've downloaded the files that I need. I have a background layer in the stage. I've got the video footage here and the music. And I have it saved in a folder called Neon Dance Outline. I mean, you can put it wherever you need to. Just make sure it's set aside on your C drive. You know how to do this. Okay, go ahead and launch Premiere Pro. You're going to start a new project. Don't forget to park it in the right place. Look at this. Oh, here it is, right there. Everything looks so different on a Mac. Yeah. Neon Dance Outline Practice. I'll call it that. Okay, go ahead and click OK. And here we go. Okay, this should start looking more and more familiar, right? Good. All right, so I'm going to grab my footage, the things that I want. And so I need the MP3, the dance video, which for us is a .mts file. I know that that is a weird file extension for us, but that is a viable video. And I use this because it can handle a higher frame rate, which makes our dance moves look a little smoother. And then the background. For you, if you're changing the background, then it'll have a different name. Okay, go in there, import the media. Okay, here we go. So we've already done this once in class, so this should seem pretty familiar. But let's just run the steps again. So I'm going to drag the video layer over. There it is. Look at that. So let's set a few things up first. I'm going to unlink the audio and then delete it. That's always a good first step. Then I'm going to pull down these audio layers so I can see more video layers up top. I'm also going to set this up to add more tracks. So I'll right-click in that empty space, hit Add Tracks, and we need 3 video tracks added and 0 audio tracks added. There we go. There are all of our video layers right there. Okay, now I'm going to scrub ahead to the point where your subject starts dancing. All right, about right there, and then I'm going to trim to that position. Then I'm going to go to the end and trim it to the point where the dancing stops. Right there. And I'll trim that. Great. Then I'll grab this and drag it to the beginning of the timeline. Great. All right. So here we go. Oh, and here, let's bump this up a layer so we have room for our stage or our base layer. So I'll pull that down and stretch that out. Even though we can't see it quite yet, it's there. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is mask out our subject. So on this layer, remember in Premiere Pro, you have to come to under opacity and grab the pen tool. And I'm going to drag, man, I am not happy with that big crease in the floor covering. I'm glad that we taped it down later. That's a much bigger improvement. Okay, now I'm going to scrub the playhead, oh yeah, and find some of these places where my hand or the subject's hand pushes out beyond the edges. We don't want any body parts chopped off, like even like there. Man, I just got to make sure that this is all the way up and out of the way. Okay, that left side looks good. How about the right side? Oh man, it gets close in there. I'm using my right and left arrows to go forward and backwards here. But you know what? That looks good. Okay, great. So I got my 10 seconds of video footage here. Wonderful. So now we got the masking done, so we're gonna add the Ultra key. Let's key this. So on the side here, we're gonna go into Effects, and you can twirl down Video Effects, twirl down Keying, and go get Ultra key and drag that to our video layer. We'll come up here to our effect controls. We have to select the key color, so I'm going to use the eyedropper. Oh no. Okay. Oh man, I'm getting pestered. Hang on. Uh-oh. Which password is this? Okay. Later. That's funny that they would pester me about this now. Okay, close that. Bye-bye. Okay, so I'm going to grab the eyedropper tool again and come over here and try to pick a nice neutral green. There we go. I got it. But in order, see, there's some fogginess up around here. So under Output, switch off of Composite and go to Alpha Channel. Okay, so this is always interesting. People find lots of ways to kind of draw this out. So remember, only make adjustments. What was that at? 10? As needed. Some people I've heard in class will just say, oh, set that at 0 or set that at 100. Well, those are the maximum levels allowed. And sometimes, well, all the time, pushing things too far is not a good idea. So I'm going to just kind of play with these numbers here to see if I can, playing with the tolerance is not great. Okay, let's jump in here. I'm going to push the pedestal up. Ooh, okay, that's good. Yeah, I'm not getting a lot of change here. Okay, let's set that to 15. Let's keep pushing my pedestal up. Just want, especially this muddy area here, to go away. Okay, we're getting there. Because if we don't clean this up, then it's going to appear as part of our outline. And we don't want an outline there. Although having an outline in the center of our body is not that big of a deal because it'll be blocked by the top layer. So, that's not horrible. Okay, let's switch this back to Composite. And then always I go to Matte Cleanup and I add a little bit of a choke. So let's do just maybe 5 pixels, and that'll squeeze in some of the edges to get rid of the green edging. Again, Premiere Pro isn't the best at doing this function, so we just got to do with what we have. Okay, I think we are good. Okay, I think so. So we're going to copy this main video layer up to another layer. Do you remember how to do that? You hold Alt, and you click and you drag it up. Uh-oh. Not on a Mac. There we go. Alt and left click to drag it up. And now we're going to hide this top layer because we just need to ignore it for now, and we're just going to pay attention to the bottom layer. Okay, now it's time to start adding some effects. So let's come back down here to Effects, and we're going to type in Find Edges. Edges, there it is. Click it and drag it on. Boop. And now let's come down here, and all we have to do is click Invert on Find Edges under the Effect controls to flip it around. Okay, yeah, that's looking a lot better. Okay, next thing, we're going to add Alpha Glow. Alpha Glow. Boop. Nice. Okay, Alpha Glow, we're going to push this down to a number probably somewhere between 3 and 5, I found is pretty good. It kind of depends on how zoomed in you are on your subject, but for full body, I think 4 is pretty good. And let's uncheck Fade Out. We don't want that. But we're looking for a nice crispy outer line on our subject. Yes, and that's looking pretty good, especially along the arms and the head. Legs, not so much, because we're not really going to see some of this stuff in the middle, so that doesn't really matter. Okay, next one. Now we're going to apply Extract. There it is. So click and drag that in. Boom. Nice. Pull down. And again, these settings are just getting you in the neighborhood. You can play with these to get better or different results. But I'm going to set this at 196 and 255. Okay? So you may want to come in here and play with this and be like, you know what? I really want this closer to 150. You know, I get a spicier outer line on that or whatever. I'm happy with 196. That's the setting I've been sticking with, especially for my particular dance move with my color of the green screen on that particular day. So I'll stick with it. If I have to come back here and adjust it later, I can. No big deal. Okay, so once this is kind of set and locked in, this is where we do our nesting. Remember that? So I'm going to right-click on my layer. I know this looks different to you, but all the same things, and I'm going to click Nest. Yeah, we'll call it Nested Sequence 1. That's fine. Here, let me zoom in on my timeline just a little bit. I'm going to squeeze this rubber band down here so I can see it a little bit better. There we go. Nice. And now I'm going to double-click this clip, and it's going to, look, it's going to isolate this nested sequence. See that? So I can get back to the main video here, but I can go back to just my nested sequence here. Kind of useful. Again, I'm going to squeeze this in so I can just see it a little bit better on my timeline. Okay, so first things first, let's make a new layer. So Alt and drag to create that new layer. Nice. On the bottom layer, this is where we have to add that track matte key. So I'm going to go over here to Effects, track matte key. There it is. And you apply this to the bottom layer. It has to be the layer underneath the one you're going to track. It won't work in any other way. So on track matte key, in this effect, we come down here, and we want to set the matte to the layer above. So for me, the layer above this is V3. So matte, video 3. And now we got to switch off of matte alpha to matte luma. I've tried it the other way, and if you leave it on matte alpha, it actually fills in the subject rather than just setting the line. I'm not exactly sure the difference between these two, but luma isolates just that line, and that's what we want. Okay, at this point, remember I taught you there is that way of isolating your subject. Some of you have very skittish little lines along the outside, and it's hard to see things. So this is an optional step right here. If you would like to add a layer, let's see. Oh man, I'm on a Mac, so this is a little bit different. So I'm going to go to File. Oh, I just need to add a new layer. There it is under Graphics, and I'm going to create a rectangle, and it plunks it in here. Oh, look, it put it on my top layer, so I got to pull this down to the bottom. I'll stretch it out. And since this gray kind of matches some of the coloring in there, where is it? Oh, here it is, under Shape. I'm going to change the fill color to something brighter so I can see things a little bit better. There we go. And then I can scale this up. And that might just help you see the shape that you're building there. Okay? But remember, when you go back to the main video, that shape that we included is still there. So we have to go back to nested sequence and turn it off. But if you're already producing a really good solid line around the outside, you can skip this step. You don't need it. Okay? So let's hop back in the main layer. Like, once again, you can come back in here and fiddle with your settings, twirl them up and down, play with some different things. I would recommend that you don't play with the key at this point. It's probably too late. But if you want to play with Alpha Glow, Extract, that kind of stuff, now's your chance. Okay, going back to the main video now. We're going to click on the very top layer. And here, let's turn that on. So we'll unhide it. And we're going to move this now up to this level 6, video 6. And we're going to grab this first nested sequence, and we're going to drag it up to V5. Got it? And now we're going to bump this over 2 frames to have it start 2 frames later. So remember, it's holding down Alt and right arrow once, twice. Oh, is that going to work for me? There it goes. Did you see how it bumped over 2? Nice. And I'm going to press Alt and left click and create another instance of that. And then watch, I can just nudge that one over. There it goes. Then make another copy. And then on that copy, I'm going to nudge that one over. See, so you can see up here in your preview window that it's starting to create those multiple layers. Okay, let's do one more. Alt click drag, click on the bottom, and nudge it to the right. So Alt, right arrow once, twice. Great. So all of these are offset 2 frames from the layer above it. Pretty good. Okay, we're getting close. Okay, let's go back up to this top layer, and this is where we're going to start coloring things. So under Effects, we're going to go to Tint, T-I-N-T. I'm going to click and drag Tint, plunk it on the top, and pull it down here, and I'm going to map black to, let's go green. And then map white to, I'm going to click the eyedropper on map white, and I'm just going to click inside the green box. So all black and white is being mapped to the same neon green color. Got it? Let's now jump in here and do VR Glow. You know what I could have done to make this go a little bit faster is I should have done this on the first nested sequence and then copied it down so that these assets are there for all of them ahead of time. So I don't have to run through all these steps over and over and over again. I mean, that's okay. Okay, I'm going to turn Luma, I'm adding VR Glow. And then I'm going to set Luma Threshold to 0, Glow Radius to, I don't know, around 10. Kind of, again, depends. Oh, and look, I'm getting that weird glow thing up here again with my hand. That's so interesting. Let's bump the brightness up to 10. We want this to really, really pop. And we want the saturation higher. So I'm going to put that at 10. Kind of interesting. What if I change that to 0.5? I'm just trying to wondering if we can get rid of that somehow. Okay, let's move this to 5. I guess that kind of tightens that up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to move the glow radius. Usually I set this at 10, but I'm bumping it down to decrease this little aberration on the top from my hand being too high. Okay, so I'm just going to grab VR Glow now, and I'm just going to drag it to every single nested sequence all the way down. There it goes. I got them all. And my computer's starting to struggle to keep up. You guys are just too awesome. It just can't handle you. Yeah, look. Come on now. Come on, VR Glow. There it goes. Okay, so now I should have VR Glow on all of my nested sequence layers. Yep, there it is. Okay, now I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to type in tint, and I'm going to add tint to each layer. So I already got the top nested sequence, so I'll apply it to the second one now. And while my computer slowly catches up here a little bit, I'm going to come down here to tint. And let's change these colors. So let's go with a real fresh blue color. And I'll copy that. Oops. Yeah, my computer is really struggling to get caught up. We're bringing it to its knees. My computer's kind of old. Okay, then I'm going to jump up here to these numbers up here, and we're going to set them to be the same as what we did in the ones above. So 0, oop, come on now, 0, 5 for radius, good, and then 10 for brightness and 10 for saturation. Great. Okay, I don't think I need to keep going on this. My computer's really starting to suffer. And look, I can't even preview this for you. I think with the screen recording and all the nested sequencing layers, my computer is having some trouble. So don't forget, when you are completely done with this, that you're going to go through and apply that tint and VR Glow effect to all of these layers. Now remember, you're going to want to come back here and trim each of these layers to the end of the top video layer, right? Yeah, there it goes, pop. And that'll keep it nice and neat. Let's get that last one going. Good. And then the last thing you want to do, come back to Media Browser, Oops, sorry. Libraries. Oh, here, it's project. Sometimes they change the names of these panels in different versions of the software. So club music, I'm going to click and drag this in, of course, for our audio layer. And then you'll need to go in and clean this up so the audio begins and ends in the right place and doesn't just go on and on and on. Trim that off. Make sure you save your work and submit it. Okay, that does it for this recording, and good luck.